when an overzealous HOA ignored every warning sign and bulldozed a luxury access road straight through 40 acres of federally protected wetlands. One determined resident refused to stay silent. Rex Thornfield, an experienced environmental engineer and a weekend father to his 8-year-old daughter Emma, quietly documented the entire disaster from the very first orange survey stakes driven into ancient salamander breeding pools to the final concrete pours that scarred the landscape. For Emma, those wetlands had been her magical kingdom, where she named turtles, chased frogs in rubber boots, and made her daddy swear to protect the animals forever. Rex had chosen their modest home in Pristine Meadows, Georgia, precisely for that peaceful view of the preserve, a sanctuary that helped heal their hearts after a painful divorce. But the HOA board chair, Cordelia Blackthorne, a former county councilwoman forced out amid corruption scandals, now ruling the neighborhood like a deposed queen with her husband's construction company conveniently handling every improvement, saw only dollar signs and convenience. She dismissed Clean Water Act requirements, Section 404 permits, and a binding 1987 perpetual conservation easement as bothersome paperwork. In a reckless 72-hour rush, her crews attacked the habitat without erosion barriers, sediment controls, or federal oversight, turning delicate seasonal pools into a construction zone, while neighbors applauded shorter drives to shopping and promised property value spikes. Rex fought back methodically. He gathered photographic evidence, trail camera footage of round-the-clock destruction, hydrological models proving the road would act as a dam during heavy rain, and formal complaints to the EPA and state agencies. In return, he endured a barrage of petty HOA violations. Fines for a birdbath too tall, a mailbox half an inch off spec, slashed tires, sabotage cameras, and anonymous notes calling him an environmental terrorist. Cordelia even weaponized the board against him, framing his efforts as harassment that would bankrupt the community with legal fees. Then Tropical Storm Helena arrived. Overnight, the sky unleashed 6 to 8 inches of rain in a matter of hours. Without the wetlands to soak up the torrent like a massive natural sponge, water surged across the subdivision. Basements flooded, cars bobbed in garages like toys, foundations cracked, and the smell of moldy drywall soon replaced the earthy scent of the preserve. 23 homes took on devastating damage, millions in total, while Rex's house, carefully positioned to respect natural drainage, remained bone dry. Cordelia's own lavish colonial suffered heavily. Her construction equipment sank in toxic muck, and her carefully built empire began to collapse under the weight of reality. The flood exposed every shortcut, falsified soil surveys from her husband's own company, ignored federal protections, intimidation of dissenting neighbors, and deliberate 24/7 construction to outrun regulators. Federal investigators arrived, criminal charges followed for environmental crimes and fraud, and the long-forgotten conservation easement nearly voided every single property deed in the 127-home development. In the courtroom, Rex's evidence, time-stamped photos, GPS data, scientific models, prove cause and effect with devastating clarity. Justice unfolded with almost poetic symmetry. Cordelia pleaded guilty. Her husband faced prison time and massive fines. The illegal road was torn out, and the wetlands were restored with federal grants. Boardwalks now wind through thriving habitat. Endangered salamanders breed again in their ancestral pools. Turtles bask in sunlight, and great blue herons fish peacefully where concrete once scarred the earth. Emma squeals with delight on visits, counting new wildlife and proudly declaring that Daddy kept his promise. The animals are safe forever. Rex even bought Cordelia's flood-damaged mansion at auction and turned it into a neighborhood wildlife rescue center, complete with a turtle hospital in what used to be her master bedroom. The bronze plaque by the door reads that the Blackthorns and their descendants are banned in perpetuity. Environmental crimes have consequences. And the HOA? Board meetings are far quieter these days, without the power-hungry Karens who once dominated the agenda. This is the essence of classic HOA revenge. Greed and arrogance versus evidence and nature itself. No amount of influence, money, or rushed construction could defy the simple physics of destroyed wetlands. Mother Nature always sends the bill, and she charges interest. Welcome to HOA Stories, your daily dose of the wildest neighborhood dramas, Reddit-fueled revenge tales, iconic Karen moments, and satisfying justice served cold. New videos drop every day, full of conflict, comedy, clever comebacks, and epic payback. Subscribe now and never miss the next chapter of suburban chaos, because someone's always battling an entitled HOA, and we're here to capture every glorious moment. Warning disclaimer: these stories are fictionalized narratives inspired by real-life themes, created purely for entertainment purposes. They do not reflect actual events, names, individuals, or places. Any similarities are entirely coincidental.